Are you drowning in paper? As a real estate investor, we have to deal with a lot of paper. Bank statements, tax bills, insurance documents, deeds, and the list can go on, and it just gathers and piles on top of you. And in this video, we're gonna look at ways that you can solve this problem once and for all. I'm Scott Todd, and this channel is dedicated to helping you scale your real estate investing empire so you can make more money and make more time. Look, we live in a digital world, and you know what? It seems like even though it's all digital, we have more paper than ever before. And you know, look, if you're like most people, you've got all these important documents, and what do you do with them? Do you store them in an endless sea of filing cabinets? I mean, these things can go on forever. Or do you continue to stack them on top of each other and get towers of paper? And the next thing you know, you end up on a show called Hoarders, and I don't think any of us want that. So to solve this problem once and for all, in my own business, I tapped into the days where I ran a document management team at that Fortune 300 company that I worked with, and I wanted to share with you what I'm going to do in my own business to combat this growing paper game that we all end up having to play. To really help ourselves first, the first thing that we really need to do is we really need to reduce the amount of paper that's coming in. Well, what's the biggest source of paper coming in? Well, it's the mail. And for that, I use a mailbox service called Traveling Mailbox. Now, look, there's a lot of these things. It could be Digital Phoenix Mailbox or Earth Mail. And what they do is they receive your mail for you. And when they get the mail, they will scan it and put it into a PDF. And all of a sudden now, when you have this, all of a sudden, think about it, all your mail comes to you electronically in a PDF, and that eliminates a lot of the paperwork even entering the facility or your home or your office. But then we have to have a strategy of what to do if the paper does make it into our world, again, our home or our office. And for that, I continue to fight the battle to convert actual paper into digital files. Now, my favorite tool to do that is my scanner. It's a ScanSnap IX500. And look, I'll put the link below in the description. What I like about this scanner is a couple things. Three things, actually. One is that I can scan right into Dropbox or Evernote. So, I mean, these are two tools that I'll talk about shortly because I use them all the time, but I can scan right into them and it's easy. This scanner is pretty fast too. It will scan both sides of the document in color. And you know what? If I can do all of that and just have it dump right into the tools that I already use, it's absolutely a win. But just scanning the documents or getting them in or getting your mail into the PDF, it's not going to help you solve the problem if you don't have some way of organizing all these digital files. Because look, how many digital files do we have, and file structures and all this other stuff, and it just becomes more of a mess and a hassle. Some people, they like to keep their files stored in Dropbox, and while I do use Dropbox for sharing files with my team, my favorite tool for creating a digital file cabinet is Evernote. I use Evernote all of the time. And like I said, my scanner allows me to save PDF documents right into Evernote. And what I love about Evernote is that everything is searchable. So imagine I get a PDF in there, I upload it to Evernote. The Evernote system just goes to work to read the documents, and they make the OCR, that's the optical character recognition. It reads through your documents, and that information becomes searchable as well. In Evernote, they have some really cool features as well, because they will read what's on your screenshots. They will read what's in the picture. So if you took a picture of a whiteboard, for example, and you want to search for that, you could do it. They will even pick up your handwritten notes. So when I go to Evernote and I start typing in whatever I want to, it brings back to me every note that might be relevant to that search query. And that's important, because if you know that there's a certain place that you can go to and pull back the information, well, then you'll be more trusting just to put your documents over there. But look, even though we get all of this stuff going on and we get the system in place, we're still going to have another problem. And that's because if you're like most people, you got some catching up to do just to get organized. And that means that you're going to be sitting at that computer scanning documents for hours, days, or even weeks. And basically, who has the time to do that? But what I would encourage you is, one, think about who you can get to help you. Is it your spouse, any teens in the family, or neighborhood teenagers that you could get to help you, young adults that are in your world? But remember, the worst case scenario is that you have to do it. And if you have to do it, well, just commit a certain amount of time to this project each and every day until you get caught up. Remember, it doesn't all have to be done at one time. The goal here is that we get rid of the paper over time, but we've really got to secure the system here. We got to make sure that the PDFs or the mail doesn't come in documents, and when they get here, we have to have some rhythm to get that in there. I would also encourage you to think about this, and this is what I did. Where I had just a large pack of papers, I just put them in the scanner and just let it scan, and I put it into Evernote. Because remember, Evernote has that search capability. So it will search through the entire document so that it will bring back to me what I have. So some of that older stuff where you don't need to kind of get it organized first to get into the scanner, just scan what you have and let Evernote take care of the rest. Now look, as you return back to normal, your life's getting back to normal, you're going to have a new issue. And the new issue is, what do I do with all this paper? Like, think about it. You're going to have all this paper that's now in a digital format, and you got to get rid of the paper. You got to either recycle it or shred it. Some stuff you can recycle. You're like, it's okay. I can recycle that. Other stuff might be, more sensitive in nature that you want to have a shredder. And look, if you have a shredder, you might be tempted to start a new stack of stuff that you're going to start shredding, and that's going to create more work for yourself. So if you're really committed to saving money, well, then you need to have that system in place for the recycling or the shredding, and you need to sit there and make sure that you put that into your daily routine just to shred. Otherwise, you're just going to have mounds of paper that just need to be shredded, and you got to go find the time to do it. Now, the preferred method that I do in my own business is I create a shred stack, and once a week I run down to Office Depot, or you could look at any other office supply store that offers shredding. They charge you by the pound. I pay at Office Depot like 99 cents a pound, and man, it's worth it. I just take it in there, I drop it into these big buckets. It costs me a couple bucks a week, and you know what? It keeps me clean and organized. And isn't that really the key to a good system? And look, now that we have our document management system complete for our businesses, and we're getting our paper into that digital system, life is going to be even better because you've built a system to control the paper. I'm going to be more organized. You're going to be more organized. And you know what? My wife, she loves when I'm organized. And when I'm organized, she's happy. And then my life is happy. And you know what? You can be happy by watching this video right here that I created just for you. See you over there.